It's a really breezy night here in Sardinia. By no means a full stadium, but a really massive security operation that's been going on all day. In just a matter of seconds, all the waiting will be over and the action will be underway for England in this 1990 World Cup.
The Italia 90 World Cup, a festival of football, a celebration of the world's greatest game.
Any town, any city you went, the whole nation in Italy was just gripped by World Cup fever.
With an audience of over 1 billion, it would become one of the most watched television events in history.
The atmosphere was just phenomenal. 1990 changed everything.
At this time, English football is in crisis. Hooliganism is rife and damaging the country's reputation abroad.
The most important thing to do is to get hooliganism out of football.
10 years of mounting violence on the terraces has led to English football clubs being banned from playing in Europe.
We all want to get back into Europe. It's in the hands of fans, and they got to realise that.
On the biggest stage of all, would this be the death of English football?
If there's any crowd trouble, we're on a plane going home.
Or the return of the beautiful game?
Gascoigne. Oh, it's gone in!
England have surprisingly finished top of their group. A late Mark Wright header sends them through to the knockout stages of the World Cup.
We knew it was going to be a difficult group, and we always felt that Egypt would be the deciding factor. So we knew it was going to be a difficult match. Unfortunately for us, we managed to go through.
That's when it starts hitting you like, I'm in the World Cup right now, you know. Forgetting about them games quickly and just move on to the next game.
England's group games were all played on the island of Sardinia. The Italian authorities hoped it would contain the notorious hooliganism inglese and enforce law and order. But it didn't go according to plan. As England's army of fans begin heading to the mainland for the next phase of the tournament, Italian police fear that they'll run riot. The England team has arrived in the ancient city of Bologna in northern Italy. But there's unhappiness in the camp. Even though England are into the last 16, the tabloid press is critical of their performance.
The England players walked off the training field without giving their customary pre-match press interviews.
It wasn't a happy tournament for us in terms of the relationship we were having with the press, because the press were always giving us a hard time. So negativity sells, doesn't it?
And you've seen the situation here in the World Cup. It's not easy with so many people around, looking for so many sides of the World Cup, much of it which doesn't apply to football.
Of course it affects the England team, but that would have preyed on the players' minds and stories about what was being said and what was being written. It affects their performance, it affects their build-up, it affects their concentration.
Even so, winning the World Cup is only 4 victories away. England's first game in the last 16 is against Belgium, semi-finalists at the previous World Cup.
You're in knockout football against Belgium, and that offers its own pressures. You lose, bye-bye. Back to the hotel, get your bag packed, go home, nothing else.
Following the team, 5,000 England fans arrive on mainland Italy and receive a familiar welcome. The authorities are bracing themselves for their arrival. But English fans seem more interested in having a party.
Ministers were going out to Italy to talk to the Italian police, and it was really trying to make sure that everything could be put in place that would actually try and minimise problems. But we didn't really know where all the fans were going to congregate.
On arrival in Bologna, English fans are quick to move on. This World Heritage Site and culinary capital is not to everyone's taste.
People were coming up to us in Bologna and asking us where to stay. And we were saying, well, obviously, you know, we're really close to Rimini, don't you? And there's lots of holiday accommodation in Rimini.
70 miles southeast of Bologna is the seaside resort of Rimini, Italy's answer to the Costa del Sol. It's a place where the English can feel at home.
It's Brits abroad, you know, there's sausage, egg and chips, isn't it? And it was a very common Adriatic seaside resort.
And for those who find even this destination a little too foreign, there's a perfect slice of England awaiting.
Obviously, I'm proud because it's the first pub open in Italy, and that is history. We used to open at 10 o'clock in the morning, and at 10 past 10, the place was already full up. And obviously, they were drinking beer.
Beers are flowing and spirits are high. But amongst the fans is hooligan in disguise, undercover cop Gary Rogers.
Rose and Crown, you know, a typical English pub with that name. It's like a magnet to the English, isn't it? They're not going to go to an Italian-named pub. What do the England fans think in their minds? This is ours. So they're going to defend that then to the hilt.
Everything started that night. Italy was playing Uruguay, and Italy won, if I remember, 2-0. In Italy, it's quite normal that fans go around with the cars, beep, beep, or flags, you know, to show that they are happy. And that was the moment when they started.
Although the Italians were celebrating, there were certain ones there who were then pushing that back in England football fans' faces. And when you think they've been drinking, it doesn't take much to get them going.
Rumoured to be outside the pub are the Ultras, Italy's most feared hooligans, looking for revenge for the Heysel tragedy. But it's the English who strike first.
They start throwing glasses against the cars passing by. They were shouting, "Let's stick together, Italians, they are attacking us." You are here and drinking, you hear this, says, God, what's happening? God, what's happening?
We knew they were going to do something, and there are times where split-second things happen, and you just can't police it. So you've got to go with the flow then.
The most serious incident centred on this bar on the seafront at Rimini. A raucous party turned to violence when the bar was stormed by Italian police. In many cases, punishment was administered on the spot.
It's scary, isn't it? You think, well, you know, you're not going to take that lot on, are you? All the riot shields and there's gas and everything. You know, you're not going to take taking an army on, isn't it? I mean, we're in the right mind, we want to have a go at that lot. You know what I mean?
Police, they threw tear gas inside the Rose and Crown. Obviously, after 1 minute, 2 minutes, everybody out. I realized outside was a kind of a war.
Chairs, bottles, rocks being thrown, and it kicks off big style.
As hooligans on both sides wreak havoc, innocent English supporters run for their lives.
All you can hear is the noise, the shouting, screaming. And I ran off and I stood against a wall and I hear a moan. And when I looked, this lad on the right-hand side of me had gone down on the floor and there's blood pouring from in front of his face. And I could see he'd been hit by a rock that's been lobbed. So I made the decision to run. The police, they're getting closer and closer. We end up in a pincer movement, and that's where they get everybody down. And if you didn't go down, they put you down. What they thought was, you're all football hooligans and guilty by association, and we were taken away.
English youths were being arrested all around the resort. By the end of the night, the police had ferried away 250 supporters to await deportation.
I was locked up on that one. Bloody prison. Obviously, I had the benefit of knowing that I'm not going to get charged with anything, and that at some point, somebody from the office is going to get us out, and it will be done in a way that doesn't arouse any suspicions with anybody, because the competition's continuing. I've still got the image of that lad with the brick in his face. God knows what happened to him. You know, I don't know to this day.
At the first hint of confrontation, the Carabinieri moved in. As usual, they appeared more willing to crack English heads than Italians. But the football authorities and the government fear the image of English football has taken another battering.
The next morning, the England squad hears the news of the riot in Rimini.
We heard about it. Some of them were getting deported. Luckily enough, I wasn't one of them. And Bob Robson said, look, just be on your best behaviour wherever, if you're walking around, because people are watching.
We always try to look on the good side of England fans, you know, because it's quite easy for somebody to provoke a group of fans, especially drinking. From what we heard, the police were quite robust.
The 2-hour street fight is dubbed the Battle of Rimini by the world's press. Hours before the game, not only are England fans facing deportation, but the team could also be on a plane home.
We had a sports minister that had no affection at all for football, looking for the slightest reason to pull an England team out and send the fans home. That was a real worry.
Colin Moynihan, the sports minister, flew out after the battle in Rimini. Never shy of a photo opportunity. Unwilling, really, though, to delve into the reality of what had happened. I think in common with many of the incidents around England football, the tabloid press and the government saw the headline that they wanted, which was that England fans are causing trouble again.
We got the impression within the squad that there was no support there from the media or probably from the hierarchy of the political world.
With only hours until England's crunch game against Belgium, the team anxiously awaits Moynihan's next move.
Well, I bitterly condemn the mindless selfishness of a criminally motivated group of thugs. These people clearly were intent on causing trouble last night, and the trouble has done a lot of damage to our reputation and to the future reputation of English football.
The stroke he pulled in Rimini is just abominable. They literally chartered a plane and press ganged, just literally shepherd hooked anyone they could get hold of after the Battle of Rimini and shoved them on a plane.
Those whom the Italian authorities alleged had been responsible for the sickening violence were tonight driven straight to Rimini Airport for immediate deportation back to England.
To jail, drinking the ball, coming, flows in the van, in cells, that's it.
In front of the world's media, 246 fans are deported from Italy. Many protest their innocence, and critics claim it's nothing more than a planned publicity stunt.
There was an accusation, wasn't there, that a plane had been chartered in advance?
If that was the case, it's not something we knew about.
I have no idea who chartered the plane. I guess the English government were paying for it, because why would the Italian government pay for it? I had respect for Colin Moynihan, because if you think of the pressure that was on him at the time, because everyone was looking at his job and how successful he was going to be getting English clubs back into Europe.
Okay. Thank you.
After Moynihan's rough justice, the game is allowed to go ahead.
When I was at school, we always said we'd love to go to World Cup one day, and it was something I always wanted to do. The Caribbean, when we got to Bologna, it was like an army.
Desperate to steer the World Cup narrative away from hooliganism, Italian authorities increased the police presence to 4,500 officers, who shadow English fans wherever they go.
I think in certain ways when it comes to what's happening off the field, you have to be selfish and think about yourself and your football team. We focused on that, on the game. The idea of it is to get on that pitch, entertain, and of course win.
Now the genuine fans hope that finally the England team will silence their critics.
I think we knew it was going to be tough because the Belgium were a good side.
And the game was nip and tuck. Any team could have won it, any team could have gone through.
No, it's offside.
It looked all over a penalty shootout. And then Gazza and Platty, between them, delivered, you know, an absolute masterclass on sort of finishing and delivery.
It just clipped it in nicely. It was a great volley for him, you know, and seeing Lineker's face.
You score at that stage, it's going to be the winner. It is one of England's greatest World Cup goals, that.
It's what you went for. Everything you wanted to be there for happened just in a blink of an eye like that.
From having a mindset of get ready to take a penalty, Piercy, to, my goodness, we've only need to hang on for a couple of minutes and we're through into the next round. It was incredible. The euphoria, the pile-on of Platty.
And that song was coming out, let's all have a disco, let's all have a disco. Everyone dancing, and, you know what I mean, through to the quarter-final.
Soon as you get to the word quarter, it becomes real. It becomes the final's not far away now, and a potential trophy tilt at that. So it really sharpens your focus at that stage.
The feeling was fantastic, you know, beating the big teams.
After England beat Belgium, there was no question we'd beat Cameroon. No African team has ever made the semi-final. So England assumed they would then beat Cameroon, and then it was a semi-final. So the excitement picked up from that point.
For players and fans, this win changes everything, and the mood of the nation is shifting.
Something clicked with Italia 90, the romance, the tune, Pavarotti.
The choice of Nessun Dorma was inspired because people who perhaps had never bothered about football before were somehow drawn in because of Nessun Dorma. Fans who had perhaps never thought of opera suddenly connected with this great piece of music. And football was suddenly synonymous with high culture.
Reacting to the nation's optimism, the headlines changed from hooligans to heroes.
The team doing well, it created an atmosphere where negative stories about England supporters, it's not a good fit anymore.
The mood in the England camp is improving too, and one player is fast becoming the team's and the nation's talisman.
A morning by the pool for the England players, basking in the glory of the victory over Belgium that's earned them a place in the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Paul Gascoigne was at the centre of the slapstick as a birthday cake ended up over his face.
They love Gazza because they know he's going to do something stupid, which is always good for the media.
Gazza had the affection with the terraces as well, and there was a feel-good factor that had been built that probably wasn't there 2 weeks ago.
What's your favourite memory of Gazza?
If I give you a favourite memory, you wouldn't have no time on television to say it, you know what I mean? And he did loads of pranks, loads of jokes, but I tell you what, when he crossed that line, that white line on the field, That jokiness went out of him, mate. He was serious as.
England's fans have been packing up and planning their route to Naples. The trouble in Rimini apart, the police say their operation in Bologna has been successful. The majority of fans were well behaved, and once again, there were no arrests at the game.
The quarter-final game will be staged in Naples. It's the home of pizza and the Camorra, Italy's most feared mafia. But the England squad is keen to ride the wave of optimism.
We're getting stronger and better and more knitted as a group. It's like butterflies of excitement saying, let's hold on to this now, let's hold on to this, come on.
If England lost, it did cross my mind that it would kick off big time. Camorra weren't going to take any spotty kid, English hooligan, there was just zero tolerance. It was all a little bit twitchy.
England's walking wounded were back on the training ground today. The biggest doubt still surrounds the fitness and form of John Barnes, who will undergo a test shortly before the game. From the manager, a prediction that his team will improve on the last World Cup when England went out at this stage to Argentina.
I said, didn't I, that we met the wrong team at the wrong time 4 years ago, and this could be the right team at the right time.
A quarter-final against Cameroon, who we knew was going to be difficult, particularly because of the stick that we'd been getting, that we would then say, well, at least we got to the quarterfinals. So I think it's more from the negative point of view because of the pressure we were under, because you just want to get as far as you can until you get knocked out.
Cameroon started the World Cup and they played Argentina, and we're thinking, we're going to get battered, yeah, but they won 1-0, you know. So it was like, wow, seeing how good they can be.
Jumped on the night train down to Rome. It was packed full of England. And then got the tickets for the Naples game. At the time, you could join the England Travel Club on a temporary pass. And I gave my grandma's address, actually. I knew they'd have me down as one of the targets.
To avoid bad press, Italian authorities are leaving nothing to chance. Naples has one of the world's highest crime rates, so England fans are kept on a tight leash.
The Neapolitans didn't take any shit. We were herded like animals out of the city.
By the time we reached the San Paolo Stadium, it was clear that Hooliganismo Inglesi had reached cult status. The circus had come to town. The hoolie buses were providing a service of containment. No one wanted the so-called animals escaping their cages.
It was pretty unpleasant. The herding had gone on for like 3 or 4 weeks. It was really attritional.
Leading into the game, we were almost led to believe that we had a bye. Not literally, but we're playing a team that was ill-disciplined. I think they had 4 players suspended, so 4 of their starting lineup weren't available. And we thought, we've got a hell of a chance here.
For me, I wasn't thinking about the quarter-final. I was just thinking, God, we're 2 games away from being in a World Cup final here, you know? You're thinking, God, that could be part of history, yeah, win this World Cup.
We knew this was going to be a physical match. Then all of a sudden, we heard this noise, which reminded me of Zulu with Michael Caine. I don't know what the hell they were singing, and they had these voices, and they sounded so aggressive, and we were like, look at this, and they were huge.
Oh, that's gone right through to Omabi. Good save by Shilton.
That game sticks out. Just how physically strong they were. I shoulder barged one of them. It took me about 2-3 minutes to get it right because my shoulder was fuzzing.
Needs a good cross from this position. Oh, and he got one! It's David Platt! England take the lead.
Thought we would go on to win it 2 or 3-0 and be comfortable within the game. How wrong were we?
That was the hardest game. That was the hardest game.
At half-time, Cameroon bring on their veteran superstar.
I mean, they had Roger Miller, 40-year-old, who was a fantastic player. He was just a born goal scorer.
In the second half, Cameroon run rings around England, scoring 2 goals in 5 minutes.
Miller, oh, they set it up here. Cameroon! It's 2 to Cameroon!
They was in front. It was awful. You're going out again. You're out of the tournament.
Here's Lineker. Oh, he's done that. Penalty. Gary Lineker. It's 2-2.
And in extra time, the ball falls to England's new talisman, Gazza.
I just knew how good I was, and I wasn't scared of anybody. I wasn't bothered about who I was up against. I just felt I couldn't put a foot wrong.
Gascoigne, can he get away from people now? And to Gary Lineker, it's a great ball. Lineker's in. Oh, he's gone down. It's another penalty.
As Lineker steps forward, England fans hold their breath.
I couldn't watch me. I didn't watch.
Lineker to put England ahead in the World Cup quarter-final. And he does. England lead by 3 goals to 2.
It's only Cameroon, well, sorry. They were a proper handful and gave England the biggest scare.
It was amazing because I'd never been to a major tournament before, so every step of this journey was the biggest game of football I've ever played in my life.
England's next match is their first World Cup semi-final in 24 years. The country is now gripped with football fever.
You can never underestimate hope and optimism as emotions, and I think that's what it gave people, and that's what football is all about. You have good times, you have bad times. This was an exceptionally good time.
It's so good, even Margaret Thatcher jumps on the bandwagon.
Mrs Thatcher told MPs this afternoon that she wished England well in tomorrow's World Cup semi-final against West Germany, but she warned the fans to behave themselves.
Despite growing excitement over the semi-final, England are well aware that they're up against the World Cup's most informed team.
We knew Germany would be a tough side over the previous years. They always put a battle against us because they thought our rivalry, Germany, England, thought this is going to be a proper good game here.
Trust your technique, trust your ability, trust your preparation, and don't let the occasion get to you. And I suppose that's what separates great teams from other teams.
For England fans, there's an even greater test awaiting. They're heading to a city where not only Italian hooligans hate them, but also most of the population.
I think there was a lot of reason to fear the semi-final. First, it was being played in Turin. Turin, the home city of Juventus. Juventus supporters had died in the Heysel tragedy. And just around Italy, you would see graffiti calling Liverpool fans killers. So there was clearly a very raw nerve in that city.
England's notorious band of followers on the road again. Thousands of supporters are now heading for Turin, carrying their own brand of nationalism to a city that has every reason to be wary of those who follow English football.
England as a team were also aware that they were coming into a lion's den, and I think we were all aware that it was going to be tricky, not on the pitch, but actually off the pitch.
I just felt as though the fans themselves probably knew they were under a bit of pressure as well to perform, if you like.
I think it was a case of this is the last saloon now. Purely and simply, they have to behave on this.
To head off any conflict, the city will have the World Cup's longest alcohol ban, 51 hours of imposed abstinence starting tomorrow morning.
But for England fans, where there's a will, there's a way.
We'd buy the cans from the takeaways the night before. I can remember the semi-final, we filled the bath up in our hotel room with beer, and we had a crowd in the hotel room. All afternoon was drinking cans out of the bath, cold bath, all afternoon. So there are ways around it, you know what I mean?
As England fans get tanked up, Italian attention is elsewhere, as they take on Argentina in their own semi-final.
tonight's semi-final, the hosts Italy were knocked out of the competition by the holders Argentina.
After the match, the streets filled with angry Juventus ultras, looking for revenge for Heysel. The English hooligans turned from predators to prey.
There was a mob of Juventus fans, a really moody mob, 300 or 400 roaming the streets looking for English, particularly Liverpool fans. And we stood outside the hotel, and there was the other side of the road, and there was all sort of coming towards. Next minute, a car screeched up. It was right outside the hotel. All these guys jumped out of his car. Right, get back in that hotel, lads. They were undercover police officers. These lads are going to kill you. Get back in that hotel.
Having been released from jail, undercover cop Gary Rogers is an eyewitness to the violence on the streets.
The Italians got great enjoyment out of goading and trying to create situations that the English fans would react to.
A group of Italian youths, estimated at about 100, provoked English fans staying at a specially designated campsite in the city suburbs. There were fights in the streets before police reinforcements separated the gangs, pushing the English back into the campsite where they set up barricades.
I think fires were set, barricading themselves in, the England fans, until the police arrived, like. So I think it was a bit dangerous, a bit naughty.
Morning, and amid the wreckage, complaints that this time the English had been sinned against.
Everybody knew that the Italians was out there. They just after revenge after the Heysel Stadium disaster.
Local police later confirmed that they decided not to arrest any English because they considered this incident had been caused by their own hooligans.
The Italian authorities' announcement is a relief to the England camp. On the morning of the country's first World Cup semi-final since 1966.
I think England v Germany has always been a big game from us. You weren't really going to count your chickens at all.
You start thinking to yourself, wow, if we beat these, this is a World Cup final.
In this tournament, England have survived rather than excelled. What's clear now is that they'll have to reach a new level of performance if they're to win this World Cup.
All of a sudden you're thinking, hang on a minute, it's semi-final. But lining up against you is 11 Germans with real top talent and a top mentality.
It's English soccer's biggest game since 1966, the sternest examination of technique, style and tactics. England have never got so far in a World Cup on foreign soil, but in West Germany they're up against a side Bobby Robson describes as the best in the tournament.
Germany won their group, and in the last 16, they beat European champions the Netherlands. In the quarter-finals, they knocked out a highly rated Czechoslovakian side to meet England in the second semi-final.
There's a word we always use when we talk about German football, German sides, is efficient. Hopefully you was going to get an opportunity of getting something from it, and if they gave you a chance.
England always had a very, very good team, and still it has. Now it's a semi-final, it's the best four teams in the world.
While the England team tries to live up to the expectations of a World Cup semi-final, at least the heat is finally off their fans.
I think from the Rimini incident onwards, and the perception that some fans had been unfairly treated by being deported after that, the message had started to get through. You can't just write off every England fan as some kind of thug. I think that voice grew louder through the tournament. So I think by the time England got to Turin, there was a willingness to say, actually, there are these people called hooligans, but there are also these people who are good England supporters.
And it's those fans who are following an England team that's becoming increasingly confident.
We had enough talent in our team, in Gascoigne, in Waddle, in Lineker. You look around the team and you think, you know what, I'm probably the worst player on the pitch, but I'll have a go, you know, because I know I've got talent around me. As long as I don't make a mistake, I give the rest of them the opportunity to win a game for England.
This is one of the great fixtures in world football. England against West Germany in a World Cup semi-final.
And there couldn't be anything better. In Italy, semi-final, sunny day, everything was just absolutely perfect.
I was confident, like I said beforehand, to Bob Robson, I am the best player in the world.
England in the white shirts and black shorts attacking the goal to the left here in the Stadio delle Alpi.
The wake-up call with the performance against Cameroon served us really well to go into that West Germany game. They were an outstanding team. It was a tight affair and a brilliant game of football that had near enough everything.
Oh, just about cleared from the 6-yard box, but here's Gascoigne!
And yet he scored in the first 5 minutes, but the keeper prodded it out the air, you know.
Well, it's been a good start by England. Germany under pressure.
England are rising to the occasion against the favourites, West Germany. It's a tight, nail-biting affair. But in the 59th minute, disaster strikes.
Germany looking for a free kick, which Pearce has penalised.
I think I'd give a free kick away on the edge of the box, out of memory. They've hit a free kick. Paul Parker's got a block on it that's spooned it over Schultz's head, and as he's backpedaling, it's ended up in the back of the net.
The goal, you know, bothered me for quite a while. It took me a few minutes to get over it. I was seeing all the negativity. If that was the goal that was going to make a difference, and it took me a while to get over it and get my head in gear and go again.
You've got no time to dwell. You have to park disappointments very, very quickly, you know, to just move on.
Parker. Lineker's there. Here's Lineker. Lineker! It's 1-1! Puts England level.
And then we got the equaliser, so I ran straight to Paul Parker, not Gary Lineker.
It was a relief when that went in. And the priority then was really, don't go and make another mistake, Paul, really.
After 90 minutes at 1-1, the game goes to extra time.
Gazza was our best player. West Germany couldn't get anywhere near him.
Gascoigne with a wild lunge there.
But then he got caught up in a challenge, and the person who done it made a massive meal of it.
I think I still, even to this day, I didn't touch him, but he started squealing, so I bent over and put my fingers in his mouth and said, "Shut the fuck up."
All Gazza was virtually wanting him to do is get up. Come on, get up.
He's on a yellow card, Gascoigne. If the referee cautions him here, and the referee has shown the yellow card to Paul Gascoigne, and the tears are welling up in Gascoigne's eyes.
He suddenly realised in that moment that had England got to the World Cup final and having played such a great part in ensuring us potentially getting there, he would miss out on the pinnacle of his career.
1990, to my mind, was still stiff upper lip time, really, where it wasn't fashionable to show emotion, reveal emotion, talk about your emotions, and Gazza doing that probably signalled the end of that regime.
It showed vulnerability, but also it showed how much he cared. And there was somebody who was displaying that passion and just that absolute devastation. And I think it really touched on hearts.
I've never known an individual footballer that everyone loves as much as Gazza. You know, that whether it be your teammates, whether it be your supporters of the opposition.
Now banned from playing in the final, Gazza's character is about to be tested.
It was easy for Gazza to suddenly stop playing and go and do something really stupid, and everyone would go, "Oh, well, that's Gazza, we knew that was going to happen," but he didn't.
I heard the fans sing my name, and I just thought, right, then do it for the fans and do it for my teammates and just give it all, which I did, you know.
Just amazement at Paul Gascoigne. Because when you talk about a disciplined performance from an indisciplined player, a disciplined person, it was just incredible. Not just for himself, but for the team.
Despite Gazza's best efforts, the teams are tied at 1-1. England's players must now suffer a penalty shootout.
It's the lottery of a penalty finish to decide who will go through to the 1990 World Cup final.
Penalty shootouts weren't commonplace when we stood up to take penalties against West Germany on that day. You know, England have never had a penalty shootout before then. So there was a lot of firsts, if you like, that were happening on that day.
West Germany and England score 3 penalties each, leaving the weight of a nation on Stuart Pearce's shoulders.
I knew before the game, if I had a penalty, I was going to smash it down the middle. The walk from the halfway line to the penalty spot is about 3.5 miles, so it seems. Just remember the goalkeeper going to his right and just leaving his legs there and cannoned off his legs, and your whole world just falls apart in one instance because you have no confidence in the Germans missing a penalty.
It's 4-3 to Germany.
With 25 million people watching back home, Chris Waddle must now score to keep England's hopes alive.
It's the emotion. You're looking at millions and millions of people watching this and thousands in the ground. So the pressure, that ball is like a pea.
Oh, he's missed. He's blown it over the bar. And Germany are through to the World Cup final. And England are out.
England's World Cup dream is over. And for Gazza, it's all too much.
When I was crying on the pitch, Bobby Robson, he says, look, you've done what you've done the crowd proud, you've done your country proud, you've done your family proud, you've done us proud, you've done your club proud. He says, be proud when you get back, you know. So we were the better team, you know. I'm so unlucky with Chris hitting that post.
Thank you, Gazza.
West Germany went on to be crowned world champions. The England team fly home, unsure how they'll be received.
When there was talk about some sort of open-top bus when the team got back, I think even then we were a bit, are you sure there are going to be numbers turn up?
Flying back into Luton, it was absolutely madness at the airport. I don't think really we actually realised that it was for us.
It just come as a bolt out of the blue to us because we had blinkers on to the impact it probably had back home. Didn't have a clue at all. And you've got some idiot there that's just missed a penalty and just wants to get in his car and go straight home, and you're on an open-top bus as a beaten semi-finalist going through 250,000 people that are, well, it just blew us away, really, you know.
Mr. Paul Gascoigne.
After the World Cup, England went for a reception at Downing Street. I always found it ironic because the Thatcher government didn't understand football fans. It shows what hypocrites they are and shows how they fail to understand what football means to the people of this country.
Back home, it was deemed a success. Big story in the paper about the success that this elite undercover unit has had. Had they have not been there, things would have been a lot worse. The Queen's Police Medal is the highest award you can get as a police officer. It's good for me and for the family because, you know, they've gone through stuff because of the job I did.
Clear the road, please, clear the road.
The success of Italia 90 has a profound and lasting effect on the nation. But perhaps the biggest change is how England and their infamous fans are viewed by the wider world.
We didn't win the World Cup, but I think we won people over.
We turned perception around, I think. How English fans and players alike conducted themselves at that tournament.
I think it was just a brilliant transfer of culture. I think that was because the Italians as a nation just embrace football and they embrace people. So I think that, you know, in a way rubbed off on our culture and made us realise it didn't have to be all tribal and all violent.
3 days after the end of Italia 90, English football is finally forgiven.
English football clubs will be back in European competitions this autumn. The sport's governing body in Europe, UEFA, unconditionally lifted the ban on English teams imposed 5 years ago after the Heysel Stadium disaster.
The legacy of the Italian 90 really was the start of the Premier League and the media attention and real nationalisation of football.
I think Italia 90 was a validation of the idea that supporting England did not mean that you had to be a racist, violent meathead. I think after 1990, it was possible to say proudly, I'm an England fan.
1990 changed everything, and to be part of that era was fantastic. It took me years to change football and get everyone back in love with it, and brilliant. I hope we get known for that and not the bad stuff I did.